Hi again, everyone. I'm 2 News Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony. It is time for the spring forecast. How are we going to come up with this spring forecast? I'm going to use the Lezak Recurring Cycle Theory, or the LRC. And the LRC states that every October, up until the middle part of November, a new and unique weather pattern will begin to cycle after it initially sets up. The cycle this year is about 45 to 48 days. And within that cycle, there are at least 3 dominant weather patterns that I've picked out. One, we'll call it the cold phase. Those are the cold fronts we had in the fall, we had in the winter, and we will have here early in spring. These will bring us some chilly April days as we head toward the end of April and into the beginning of May. So some chilly days still ahead. We saw that in November. We saw it in January. It will come back as it cycles. The second dominant pattern is somewhat El Nino influenced. The developing El Nino will keep the northern part of the country warm, but down here in green country, we will have active stretches of rain and perhaps even severe weather as the west-east flow brings us numerous disturbances and cooler than average temperatures. And then we have dominant pattern number 3, and that's when the big ridge sets up, almost an omega block in the middle part of the country. This could likely result in a heat wave in June, but it certainly spells some dry weather patterns. So let's talk about the severe weather setups. Using the LRC, going back to storms we've already seen, here are some days I want you to watch out for. We've already had severe weather on April 2nd, and the setup was there for April 8th. Marginal setup coming up for April 12th. When we look ahead to the 16th, the 24th, and the 29th, we could have setups where severe storms are possible. In May, we have at least 5 days where the setup will be there. Doesn't mean we are going to have severe weather, but the setup will be there on May 4th and on May 8th, May 24th, and May 29th and the 31st. Now, give me a little leeway in that it could happen on May 3rd or May 5th or May 7th or May 9th, but somewhere around those dates I have highlighted in red, we should have a severe weather setup. And then June, things quiet down a little bit. In Oklahoma in June, we only average 8 tornadoes during the month of June. So it stands to reason that the severe weather events tend to wane a little bit. The severe weather setups wane a little bit. So June 3rd, June 7th, the 14th, and the 22nd. Now there are a couple of weeks there, the 8th through the 12th, the 15th through the 19th, that I don't have anything. Why? Well, remember those big ridges that set up. Those could be what sets up our June heat wave. So here's the spring forecast. When we talk about temperatures, I think we'll come out slightly ahead, slightly above average temperatures. Near average rainfall from the 1st of April till the end of June, and then we're talking about those June heat waves. So that's your spring weather forecast based on the Lezak Recurring Cycle, or the LRC, and the weather pattern cycling every 45 to 48 days. Thanks for checking out this edition of Weather Wise.